Hi, yeah, hi. Can we get started, please? No? No, what's the hold up? You're waiting on a technician? We've been here for hours. Yeah, I know you have, but you're paid to. You, you're not? That, that doesn't seem right. You, you know we're paying, right? Yeah, no, I know, that doesn't seem right either. Yeah, it's costing an arm and a leg. Well, half an arm. Not quite a leg. Right, can we, can we just, start recording then, please? Yeah, we can deal with the technician later. So settle down, relax, and laugh as the Oxford Revue goes live and on air.
And that's back. It's 9:30 on The Morning. I'm Mayor Hostman.
I'm some woman.
And you're watching This is a Good Morning, people of British country.
Coming up lately on Tavern, we're talking to at Strictly Let's dancing judger Craig Swivel Forward, who'll speak things all around his new autobinoculary.
And then we'll be kitchening with the in-house chef, Captain Tagliatelle, to cook up a delicious food meal, a feast for everyone.
That sounds enjoyable, but first we've got to make a brief notice to all your wonderful viewing eyes in home.
Some of you have been writing into us, and people seem to have some big worries that we've been kidnapped and secretly replaced by shape-shifting aliens. But that's not the truth, is it, some woman?
That's affirmative, you good bloke. We are real humans who can breathe. Very normal.
Yes. Now, our next person has a story of much interest to everybody. This being was at this studio on This Morning, and she wants to say the funny thing she saw.
Please welcome very special guest.
We must warm each other's hands before talking.
Yes. So, very special guest, how are you today?
I am feeling good and well, and the weather is 25 degrees Celsius.
You know it. So tell us, what things were you seeing at the studio on The Morning today?
I saw so many lovely and really cool and amazing things.
Did you see any birds?
Yes, I saw lots of birds. I saw lots of big birds everywhere.
Birds. Wonderful.
I saw big birds all over the ground, all covered in bright red and fire, and they were screaming like this. Caw! Help me! Caw!
Very special guest.
That's a technical difficulty.
Very special guest. I must ask you a very important question. Did you see any aliens?
Oh, no, I did not see any aliens at all.
No aliens at all. What a big truth.
A very truth. We're all good humans born on this planet.
Now we're getting live messages from beings on the intratubes. This one is delivered from Stephen in Woking. Stephen says, "Hello, I love the show, but I think the hosts are aliens." Stephen, you are wrong.
This sentence is coming from Bridget in Camden, who says, I live near the studio and I saw a flying spaceship this morning. No, Bridget, that was a very large bird. Whoops.
Finally, this in from Jonette Han in Peterborough, and it asks, is this the end of humanity? Have the aliens come for us all?
Yes.
No, very special guest. You are talking falsely.
But what about the feast?
Very special guest must now be quiet. Sorry for that problem.
The end time is not soon. This is the normal time. Please do things normally, the way we are.
Yes. When we come back, we'll be with Dr. Bloke, who will show you how to cut off your own legs for health purposes.
Be seeing you then on This is a Good Morning, people of British country.
I gradually made my way northwards from the Thames and found myself settling in Trafalgar Square. It was during one of my visits that I noticed something peculiar about the fountains which adorned the square, and ever since I have been plagued by the same question. Why do the mer people on the fountains in Trafalgar Square have really nice arses? No, Hear me out. So mer people just tend to be fish from the waist down. I'd say they're fairly androgynous, but they are half fish, so whatever the word for that is. You basically have to rely on the top half to tell if they're mermaid or merman or Mormon or moron. If you ignore the top half, I would say most people could identify it as a fish, and that's about it. When the fountains in Trafalgar were commissioned by the Mayor of London, two brave and valiant men, because it was invariably men, two dashing young men answered the call. And so Charles Wheeler and William Macmillan sat down together to work out what to do. And I imagine it went a bit like this. But at what point should the human body become a fishtail? I'd say at the hips the joint will be nice and uniform, and that's how everyone else depicts them. But how do they go to the toilet? I assume the same way fish do, but we don't know how they do that. Well, that's because we're sculptors and not marine biologists. Well, what do you suggest then? I think human body to just below the buttocks, and then fishtail instead of the legs. So you've just got bottoms sticking out with a crack for no reason. That makes no sense. Yes, but we'll make them really, really nice. How nice? Really nice. Okay, that's me sold. Now, as for the other statuary in Trafalgar Square, well, most are just busts, which are very deceptively named, very disappointing, but I've been returning to that city for one reason or another more of late, but quite often I find myself with that awkward amount of time, too long that I would get where I want to be far too early, but too short to actually go to a cafe or restaurant. And so I return to Trafalgar Square. It does make me wonder, though, perched at the top of that column, just out of sight, how nice is the arse of Admiral Lord Nelson?
Next, name,
Derek.
occupation.
I'm at a job centre. Take a guess.
No need to get snarky with me.
I guess more specifically, I am an artist who plans and executes elaborate bank heists.
That's incredibly specific. Surely you're not exactly short of work. There are quite a few banks around.
You'd think that, but since everyone went cashless, banks have stopped holding any large reserves. It's really taking all the fun out of it.
Shouldn't you be set up for life from all the heists you've pulled?
You'd think that, but most of the time I use the money from the heist to finance the next one.
That doesn't seem very sustainable.
Clearly isn't.
Well, have you thought about pulling off one last job? A heist to end all heists? One that would mean you could comfortably retire?
One last job? But where can I get the crew from?
Now look, I shouldn't really do this, data protection and all, but some of the people who've just come through here could help.
Well, who have you got for me then?
For your smooth operator, we've got Loose Lips Larry.
That does not sound promising.
He's a 9-year-old kid who's just won a spelling bee. Grown-ups love him.
But?
Who says there's a but?
There's always a but.
Well, just don't tell him too much of the plan. He may be under the age of criminal responsibility, but he will tell anyone anything he is asked.
He'll do. Wait, what is a 9-year-old doing in a job centre?
Next we've got the Phantom, the burglar. Someone who can slip in and out of any space under the cover of darkness. Now, he might technically be a cat.
That's not a cat, that's just a man in a cat costume.
He can do the job.
Is there anyone else?
Of course, unemployment levels are the highest they've ever been.
Then there must be someone else.
Not for that. Now, don't judge the next one too quickly. It's the strong man.
Well, let me guess, a porcelain doll.
No, don't be silly. It's Larry again.
What the hell does Larry have to offer?
Well, he just won an arm wrestle against Felix Travers, the meanest kid this side of Broad Street.
How is this kid so well connected?
Look, what else are you going to need? A hacker? A tech guy?
No, I prefer to keep things analog.
Well, how about a mole?
Why would I need a mole?
I don't know. Keep things interesting?
Just give me a driver.
Ah, you'll like this. He comes with his own car.
Brilliant.
One question, though. Have you by any chance seen the Flintstones?
No. Why?
Nothing, just checking. Now, your safecracker needs no introduction.
Well, you might have to. I don't know anyone here.
Don't be so smug. You're in a job centre like the rest of them. Anyway, this guy's like Houdini. Can break in and out of any locked room. The Fitzgerald case, the Barcelona Grand, he literally broke into the Bank of Monte Carlo in Swindon.
Honestly, sounds like I could get rid of the others and just use him. What's he doing at a job centre?
Sorry. It seems he was just picked up by police.
Oh, come on. Right, it's fine. We can manage without. Any replacements?
Larry?
Seriously, what is it with this kid?
Look, do you want them or not? I've got several other parties interested.
Oh, really?
Are you going to be a spineless prick, or are you going to get on with it?
For God's sake, why do you always have to be so difficult, Larry?
Hello everyone, sorry I'm late. I was just showing the place to Sam, our new intern. He's my brother's nephew.
I don't think we ever had an intern before.
No, I don't think you've ever had an intern before.
No, neither do I.
All right.
Anyway, let's get to writing some of those rom-coms then. We've done Notting Hill, we've done Love Actually, dash it all. We were the people behind Mamma Mia 2, here we go again. We need something fresh, something original, you know. The Bear, The Crown, Succession, like Romeo and Juliet and a David Attenborough documentary all rolled into one. What are you lot pitching?
Well, how about clueless British person arrives in a foreign country, played by Colin Firth or Hugh Grant?
I don't want Hugh Grant playing a foreign country. Something else.
A clueless American, played by Hugh Grant or Colin Firth?
It's new, it's fresh, it's original, it's been done 100 times before. I need new ideas.
A clueless American burger joint owner, played by Colin Grant or Hugh Firth.
Now we're talking. Go on, plot. We need this done by midday. I have a lunch appointment with Fallen Kurt. Or is it Gru Hant?
Well, I haven't really got that far. Okay, how about this? Restaurant is failing and he desperately needs money from his rich elderly aunt.
From his rich elderly aunt. Good. What about the love interest? How about some local girl? Yes, some local girl. What's the catch? Writer 3?
She's already married. She's already dead. She's undead. She isn't local. She's a redhead. Her mother doesn't think she's a suitable match.
Very good. I see the money already. So he tries to please her mother and get money from his aunt.
Well, sir, if I may, audience polls tend to show that audiences don't like too many disapproving mother figures in one play. We could simplify it a little. How about the clueless American burger joint owner is trying to get money from his aunt, whose daughter he is desperately in love with?
Genius! Clueless American burger joint owner trying to save his restaurant by getting money from his spiteful aunt, who does not approve of his marriage to a daughter because he's a penniless, clueless burger joint owner. Burger joint owner obviously played by Hugh Grant. I don't think Colin is in the right headspace for it at the minute. Who's playing the love interest?
I was thinking Keira Knightley?
If I may, I love Keira Knightley more than my wife, but doesn't she look a bit tired for the role nowadays?
Always the ones you think you could trust, eh? Keira Knightley it is then. Still feels a bit off though, the love interest played by Keira Knightley.
Well, how about the love interest played by Keira Knightley, played by Colin Firth?
Welcome to University Challenge. First up, the team from St Somebody's College, Oxford. Let's meet the 4 who will be competing tonight.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Sparks, and I'm reading for a PhD in psychopharmacology.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Twizzle, and I'm reading for a PhD in psychopharmacology.
Hello, I'm Hugo Box Bunkum, and I'm reading for a PhD in psychopharmacology.
Hello, I'm Wendy Flump, and I'm reading for a PhD in psychopharmacology!
We're all reading for a PhD in psychopharmacology!
Yes, okay, very well done. Now here's your first question. Which famous author wrote the novel Great Expectations by Charles Dickens?
Somebody spends.
Psychopharmacology?
Wrong.
Isn't there supposed to be another team?
No. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate the life of Martin McSmith. As most of you will know, I was one of Martin's classmates, and tonight I have the honour of paying a final tribute to Martin on behalf of the entire class, who are all gathered here today and didn't want to say anything about it. At first glance, Martin, or Marty as he was affectionately known, seemed to be quite shy and reserved. At second glance too, those of us who knew him remember his love for Star Wars and sitting down. He loved that. I'll never forget his first words to me. Please stop breathing so loudly. Classic Marty. Much has been written about Marty's demise, and I'm still shocked by the media storm that has marked his passing. At the request of his grieving family, I've offered to set the record straight. The truth of what happened is this. Marty woke up on January the 25th at 8 a.m. or got on the bus, or as he liked to call it, the Millennium Falcon. Little did he know this was the start of his fateful last journey on Earth. He would not have expected the bus driver to swerve suddenly to avoid a pushchair that had rolled out of nowhere into the road, if only the bus driver had seen that pushchair was empty. Alas, the bus crashed into a telephone booth and immediately caught fire. Luckily, of course, Marty managed to jump out of the emergency window, but unfortunately straight into oncoming traffic. Miraculously, he dove to the pavement, but overstretched by millimetres and plummeted into the river. It means so much to know that Marty was rescued by some nearby mudlarkers. I realise much has been said about the chances of yet another pushchair rolling into the path of the ambulance as they rushed Marty to hospital. But we can only wonder what Marty thought as the ambulance swerved to miss it. The doors unlatched and his gurney shot out of the back of the ambulance and halted on the train track. What followed was incredible. A guide dog named Brian heroically let down from the platform, abandoning his elderly gentleman to pull Marty out of harm's way by biting onto his wrists and dragging him to safety. Unfortunately, Brian had recently enjoyed a peanut butter treat for being a good boy. Marty was fatally allergic to peanuts and passed away from anaphylactic shock and rabies. I'd just like to invite one or two of you, fellow classmates, up here to share a sentence about Marty. No, well, he was a man whose life can be summed up with the phrase, no comment. Marty's mum told me that Marty always spoke about a special request in the event of his demise, so I'd like you all to stay sitting down, as Marty would have. And bow your heads and join in with me. Da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da.
You've been listening to the Oxford Revue, live and on air, written and performed by Jack Berkovich, Sean Harnett, Kat Jennings, Jan Maciejewski, Ursula van Niekerk, Adam Pickard and Pavel Schalke. It was directed and produced by Jack Berkovich for the Oxford Revue.